Science, which is one of the most prestigious scientific journals published in the West, and it was
basis in biological or scientific fact. On the one hand,
and scientific discovery, as is true with any.
That means there's a huge infrastructure that supports the scientific mission, and it takes.
So my scientific life, so to speak, has been really dictated by three of these major proteins or enzymes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each.
University College London with us this evening. Brian is a former Chief Scientific Advisor to 2 UK government departments.
Nickname. And our scientific paper has a funny title up there on the right, In Spiral.
Wouldn't be so balanced on other scientific issues.
Well, I think
like evolution.
I think that is a problem with the way.
The scientific method, just like science itself, is based on what was built before.
Cited scientific researchers in the world. He's done more than 200 peer.
People get stuck. And I said, this is very scientific. In my view, 99.99.
Life. When Martin Gardner, the Scientific American columnist, wrote.
And it was a scientific study trying to evaluate whether
it's kind of scientific and it is not messy. So of course, great.
This was what finally Edmund Scientific came up with an FM.
It was neither of those sort of scientific words. It's the word suke.
Their scientific name, their Latin name is Longimanus, which when
was a certain scientific optimism. What they didn't have was the
work and are a precious scientific legacy Marx has left to us. But it's also a part of his
cam where they attach cameras and various scientific instruments to animals and let them
advise them on how to implement a scientific program of eugenics.
Really a scientific argument. It is a moral argument.
Adopting some scientific, so-called scientific approach is, I think.
It'll be easier to talk about this seriously if we just use the scientific term. So the main active agent in Canada.
The general population. So if you tell us what you eat as honest and scientific as you are, you will mislead us.
All of that scientific data around the product. And also with this.
In that light, that there is actually a significant amount of scientific rigor yet to be understood in this space.
He had no scientific credentials. He did have a degree from
building. We would not be, doing the type of scientific research that we do if we weren't natural.
It's actually a scientific term called the bizarreness effect. And the reason
then the only scientific attitude towards science itself is to be skeptical of it. Not
positioning all their stuff as scientific stuff. And somebody ended up writing a
for people to get engaged in the scientific enterprise and
like you have to go to where people are. Like, you can go and have like a big scientific presentation from the top world.
Has never happened to me before in a scientific context in North America. And then when I
over the cartoons was an article from Scientific American magazine. And that led to sort of a...
And that is, if you actually look at the scientific data, it doesn't really hold up. What we've learned
the scientific and objective analysis of baseball. Much more.
In this case, I'm very envious of the very scientific approach that Google takes. So maybe.
But again,